If you are not getting paid for any of the following: writing, talking too much, walking, resting, speaking, being too much, being happy, this is the video for you, especially if you are tired of working in toxic workplaces, tired of the microaggressions, tired of the systemic racism. Watch this video to the end because I'm going to show you how you can generate sustainable income streams that will support you and replace the income that you need to get out. Because, sis, you deserve to rest. Sis, you deserve to be happy. Sis, listen, you deserve to thrive. So y'all already know that there is a backstory to this, and I'm going to share my story. I'm going to keep it brief. I'm going to keep it short. And I'm also currently traveling. Y'all can see all this snow here. I am ready to be back in my tropical paradise. So my journey began in working in corporate in the tech space. I had to pause and I had to exhale because my experience was deep. When you come into these spaces that are predominantly white and you start to experience microaggressions, systemic racism, gaslighting, undermining, it takes a toll on your physical and mental well-being. I remember one tech space where I had actually moved a whole different state to come into this environment, and when I walked into that office, it felt like a space of mourning. And I found out that a Black woman just like us had passed away. She left her family. She was a young Black woman. She was married, left her kids, her family, and she died from a stress-induced aneurysm. Then a couple months into this role, y'all, the amount of pressure. First of all, they had a transition in management. It went from, okay, fairly decent to, oh my God. The amount of pressure. I used to wake up so stressed, like I felt like I wasn't even sleeping because my body was so tense with stress, and just knew that I had to get out. I had to leave. So I left. Went into another space. That was even worse. So I say this, these spaces are not ready for us. And I try to manage the toxicity. I try to, maybe I should just hide. But one thing about my personality is I'm not going to let anyone undermine me or try to make me small. So there is instantly going to be some resistance because we don't play like that. We are not playing like that at all. And so I knew that I could no longer make this work because there is an entire society that is not ready, that they are stuck in this systemic racism, undermining, microaggressions. I'm not here to save the world. That is not my job. I'm here to rest. I'm here to be happy, to be joyful. And so I had to get out, if you hear what I'm saying. Y'all, it is cold out here, but we're going to hang with it. And so I stayed for a long time because money was my biggest barrier in getting out. The reality is I've got a family. They rely on my income. And what was I going to do? I had didn't really have a plan, didn't really know where to start, how to get out and create a life that truly worked for me. I know I had a deep burning desire within me. So long story short, I ended up getting out and creating this space that I call work less and thrive, because I believe that we can work less and we can thrive at the same time. It's not an either or. It's not hustle and thrive. It's not be exhausted, burnt out, and try to thrive. It is work less and thrive. And the premise of this, that I believe this information was truly a download from God, because I had pled, I had prayed, I had asked that, hey, I really want to live my life. I want to live a life of abundance, a life of joy, a life of ease, but money is what is really stopping me. And so the work that I do, I work with the Black women to help you, guide you, generate and create a sustainable, that's key. Because sometimes you can leave and then like, oh my God, the math ain't mathing, I gotta rush back. So sustainable means that it will sustain you month after month, year after year, income streams, while you are working less and thriving. And this work started back when I was a little kid. I had an experience when I was 7 years old. I loved nature and was playing outside like always, every day, and learned so many key principle that really stuck with me was that we're here to thrive, because I was thriving. That little girl out in that garden thrived. And so I knew that this was a possibility. And then the unraveling that started happening is, hey, when you were a little girl, there were things that you loved. I loved to write. I loved to play. I loved to organize things. I loved to speak. I was a little too much. And so as I was mapping out this program, as I started to live it in my life, started seeing my clients getting results, it was like going back to those things that you loved as a child, the simple things, because we start to put label on how our money should show up. That if I do this career, this is how the money will show up. But there is another realm that's available, an energetic realm that taps into your joy. The things that bring you joy can generate you an income. So that's why I say it is possible to get paid, to play, to write, to speak, to be too much. So we're going to put a little pause on it. I'm going to get out of this cold, y'all, because this ain't working right now. It ain't working no more. I'm going to show you how to do that. So I'm inside. I'm warm. And now we're going to get into it so you can see how this process works of being able to take the things you love and generate sustainable income streams. So when I started this process, God told me to go back to my childhood and look at the things that I loved and to write down those things. So that's what I'm going to walk you through, that same process. You can do this exercise with me and start to create this for yourself, because you have the same access as I do. You are also supported, you're also contributed to. So as you're doing this exercise, sometimes people start to go in their head, start to try to figure out, how will this work? How can I get paid for walking? How can I get paid for writing? And the systems have lied to us. So I'm not making anyone wrong, because I also had to learn how to get out of my head and to trust and to believe in the magic of being alive. And so the systems tell us that, go to school, get this education, follow this path, and then you will live the American dream. But as many people are finding, is that dream sometimes does not become a reality. And some of these systems are designed to profit from us. We do the work, we get exhausted, and then, once you're burnt out, washed up, used up, they throw you away and replace you right away. So, this process is empowering so that you can see how you can create a life that works for you, live the lifestyle of your dreams, doing what you love. So, I walk my clients through this process because, yes, sometimes it is hard, especially if you've been in these corporate streets, trying to figure out, what do I actually love? Sometimes we have that blurred vision, and we go through a couple different processes to really open you up to receiving and accessing your creative centers. So if that is something that you require, if you require support, I am more than happy to support you on this journey. There will be a few links in the notes, and you can book a complimentary session. We'll have a conversation about your situation and what you're looking to create. But otherwise, I recommend diving in, maybe going first for a walk, do a meditation, just breathe, be centered, and then dive into this exercise when you have the clarity. So go back to your childhood and think about the things that you deeply enjoyed as a child. Maybe you enjoyed cooking. Maybe you enjoyed reading. Maybe you enjoyed playing. Don't go into judgment automatically like, okay, Grace, how am I going to make money? That immediately stops the flow of creation. I want you to just play. Play right now and write down the things that you enjoyed as a child. Feel free to put this video on pause while you're writing down. But if you've already done that, let's move into the next phase where you get to start to see the magic of this process. All right, so I'm going to move into the space of sustainable income streams. Again, sustainable income streams, these are income streams that will support you consistently, that will contribute to your financial well-being, your body's health, just everything, your family. So that's the intention of these income streams, because when you are creating income streams, as you can see at the top here, that everything that you're creating is centered around joy. You are no longer just doing things for the money, but you are doing things from a space of joy. Money follows joy. That's the easiest way to create money, is when you're in a space of joy, there are generative energies that your joy creates. So the more you are doing things you love, the easier it is to attract the money that you desire. It happens as if by magic. And I'm going to share some of these with you so you can get a sense of what that looks like. So the things that I wrote down that I enjoyed as a child, and you can also, look at your teenagehood, like look at the totality of your life. But as you will start to see, as if you're looking at the totality of your life, there's a common theme. There are things that you enjoyed as a child that still show up in your life today. So the things I wrote down: walking, talking too much, writing, being too much, resting, speaking, organizing, being happy. And this list goes on, but I wanted to keep it short for this exercise. So for walking, I started asking, like, I love being in nature. I've always loved being in nature. Nature is my joy. I am happy there. I clear my mind. I connect to nature. And I wanted to find out, how can I get paid? How can I receive an income from being in nature? And so this idea was birthed of being a forest therapist. And so I'm in the process of getting my certification to become a certified forest therapist. And what I do is I take people out in nature to forest bathe. And so it is, if you've never experienced that, I highly recommend it. It is one of the most powerful processes to be present, to receive from nature, to see how you're connected with nature, to heal, to heal. And so when I have my certification, I'm going to be hosting forest bathing sessions, maybe once or twice a week. It just depends on what will bring me joy, what will light me up. I'll also be traveling to different places to also facilitate forest bathing sessions. But listen to what I said. I'm not just going to all of a sudden like, oh, this is the thing that's going to make me a ton of money, but I'm going to tap into the energy of, okay, what will be fun for me? How many forest bathing sessions do I want to do a month, a week? I'm following the energy. This is not being created from a space of force, but truly from a space of joy, from a place of possibility. And what happens is when you are centered in that energy, you actually attract the clients, the people that are looking for you, because that energy is so generative. It's yummy. People can pick up on it. And so you'll find people signing up for your classes. Y'all are not having me, you're not hearing me say, okay, so how's this going to work out? I'm going to have this system set up in place. I'm going to have this, that. No, I am trusting that when I write these things down, it's going to show up. Like, you have to have that level of trust and knowing that the steps, the how to will be provided for you. And that's also something we work on when we work on one-on-one with this process, is because we let go of those limitations that stop you receiving ease. Like, most of us have been taught to work hard, but these things can show up in our lives with so much ease. Talking too much. I was always told that I talked too much. And then I went through a period where I was made wrong for it. Then I stopped talking, became shy, and then found it again. And so I love to speak. And so I have a podcast that I record. I record videos. I attract clients that way by me posting my content through me speaking. Again, I'm not going in my head. Um, let's say you like to speak, you want to create a podcast, and you're going in your head, I need the right equipment, I need this X, Y, and Z. No, you just move into the space of creation, because everything that you need will show up. Those steps will show up. But if you go into your head and the how to, you instantly stop that energy. Writing. I've always loved to write. I write lots of content. I have a blog. I attract clients through my writing. Being too much. This is one of my favorite. So I've always been told, like, you're too much. You're too much. Ever since I was a child. And I was too much. I had so much energy, y'all. I was just out there. And the way that I've used this skill, this beautiful part of me, is I love to do so many things. I'm multi passionate. And sometimes we're made wrong and told you should only focus on one thing. Do this one thing. This is the one thing that's going to make you a ton of money. But I get so much joy from doing multiple things, and have been able to create an income stream from this as a consultant. Y'all heard me say I worked in tech. Y'all, do not throw away your skills. You were there in corporate America for a reason. You acquired skills that now you can generate an income stream from on your terms. And so, with the skills that I've acquired, I actually work with businesses in corporate America as a consultant. Now, what I will say is I give a small percentage of my time to that. This is not like I'm fully focused into that, because I know when I was doing this on a full time basis, I got burnt out. The joy totally eradicated. But they were things that I enjoyed doing in the tech space in my corporate career that I still enjoy doing today. So I allocate part of my income generating space to this space as a consultant. So that's why I say don't throw away your skills. You can generate an income from every single skill that you have. And as I work with clients, we naturally start to uncover how you do this, how you take those skills and create a consulting business or a business from it. Resting, y'all have heard me. I've done a lot of videos on rest. Rest is so key to my creativity. And I actually facilitate sessions in being able to rest and being able to learn how to truly rest and create, because I actually create more when I'm resting versus when I'm doing. So resting is in that space of being. And I also wanted to create income from rest. And one of the things that I have as an income stream are passive income streams where you are making money while resting. So it can be in investments, rental income, Airbnb, things that you can do that don't require your physical input. It's like your money is working for you, and there are lots of different things you can institute in your life when it comes to passive income. But I truly was honoring this thing that I enjoyed of resting. And so, from a space of rest, these are the income streams that showed up for me. Speaking, paid events, I get paid to um, show up in other people's spaces. Maybe someone's offering a master course, and then I'll come and speak to that group. I love to speak. And so these things started to uncover and unravel. As you write down, these ideas will show up as long as you do not go into judgment. Organizing, oh my gosh, I love details, y'all. I love details. I could have been in the FBI, CIA, because I love details to the most detailed level. And so I give this skill, this contribution to businesses, and helping their business grows through the details that I provide, and being able to help them um, grow their revenue, help them become more efficient, help them actualize the business of their dreams. And these are tangible, physical business. It can be a physical business. I do work with a phlebotomy school. Uh, I also work with a client that is in the music industry. And this comes from my joy of organizing. Being happy. This is one of my favorite ones. This is one of my favorite ones to create. When I'm happy, it is such a generative energy that money shows up with ease. And when it comes to even clients for my business, I don't advertise in the way that most businesses advertise. I show people know how to find me, where to find me. So, I'll have social media, etc. But this way, y'all, um, it is so powerful that I often get choked up just thinking about it. So, for example, for my one-on-one coaching, when I travel, because travel brings me so much joy, I end up just getting clients that way. It's happened so many times. I have a video you can watch with Trina, a testimony of the work we've done together, just so you get a sense of the power of this work. So I will have that linked up so y'all can watch that video. Make sure you watch it, because if you're wondering how this all works, that gives you the full scope of the power and the beauty of this work. And so there was a time where I was like, I got to go to Tampa. Like, the energy for Tampa was like, ooh, it is popping. It felt so generative. I'm like, okay, so we're going to Tampa. We go to Tampa, then we're at this staying at a hotel. Then I get the hit, like, I want to get my nails done. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm gonna go and get my nails done. I start walking around. I go to the first salon, and the energy just wasn't pinging. I'm like, this isn't it. Then I started Googling black owned nail shops. And then Trina's shop popped up, and went to her shop, got my nails done. And she asked me, like, what do I do? Long story short, she became a client. So that's the power of releasing all of your limitations around money, your money story, because once you let go of all of that, you naturally attract with ease. Like you're in such a in alignment with everything that is here to contribute to your joy, to add more to your joy. That's why I say that we are here to thrive. We are here to be happy. We're here to be joyful. And that's what this process does. And with my work, we always touch on money because money is a big thing. If you have limitations around money, you're going to create that. When I started this process and took that leap, I had big money issues and they kept showing up. So I had to look at money. I had to look at my money story. I had to look at receiving. And the more I did this, the more I did the work, the easier it became for me to attract exactly what I desired in such a short time with total ease. So it is such a beautiful process. Same thing happened. Jamaica. I was like, oh, we got to go to Jamaica. Jamaica is pinging. Jamaica is so pinging. And went to Jamaica and met a beautiful lady there. She was also a client. So you may be thinking, girl, I don't have the money for these trips, y'all. Whenever I get pinged to any of these countries, any of these places, the money for that always shows up. The money is already there. So it's such a magical process, y'all, that that's why I called it work less and thrive. Like you are literally working less and thriving. So you may have a question. You'll be like, girl, you have all these income streams. How do you even do this? This is a lot. How am I going to be able to work less and thrive? Thank you for asking that question. All right. This is the process that gets you to the space of working less and thriving. Y'all, excuse my screen here. I don't know what I did. I'm sharing it, and now there it is. I'm just going to have to move a little slow. So I experienced the same thing where I was like, man, I'm doing all these things, but I'm not really working less. And so again, God took me, sat me down and said, okay, let me show you how this is going to work in this space. So I started here where 100% of my income was dedicated in a job. So I was trading all of my time for money. I was getting paid based on hours worked and tasks completed. And it was kind of hard. I got burnt out. I had all my eggs, the downside, all my eggs in one basket. And sometimes these jobs are not loyal, y'all. They will get rid of you. They will get rid of you. And if you have all your eggs in one basket, then you're panicking. If you lose that job, if something happens, if it no longer works. So this process of one job does not work at all. And so when I started looking at my life, when God had me analyzing my life, I started to transition into this space because I was like, I want to rest. But if I'm doing all these things, how am I going to rest? So then I started to look at my life as a pie chart and really look at how much do I actually want to work? Do I only want to work 20% of the time? Do I want to work 80% of the time? So you have to look at your life and see what works for you. Maybe there's some people that like to work a lot. It contributes to them, which is okay. But there's some people where it's like, I prefer to rest because when I rest, for me, I know I'm that type of creator. When the more I rest, the more I actually create. So I started to transition and then went to an 80-20 split. 80% of my time was based again on the hours I worked and, trading time for money. And 20% I started to transition into the space where these were passive income streams that really didn't require me to do much. So it can be creating a course that's automated. Someone signs up for it, they go through the entire course, and you don't really have to do anything. It can be investments where you're receiving dividend income. Just there's so many things that will show up for you as long as these are things that you truly enjoy, because then it just kind of multiplies. Like there's so much ease with it. So when I did the 80/20, it still was not enough because I'm like, wow, I'm still putting in a lot of my energy and I really thrive when I am working less. And so, y'all bear with me here. So this is where I am in the 60/40 split, where 60% I'm still trading my time and then 40% is passive. And there's still room to grow here. I'm still growing. I'm still working on things. Like no one, life is a journey. We have all these limitations that we've had. Even I don't even want to call them limitations, but things that we have to transform to get us to be where we want to be. So right now I'm at a 60/40 split. I would love to even go even lower than that. I would love to move into a 50/50, 40/30, etc. But y'all get what I'm saying. And the beauty of this is you may be thinking, okay, Grace, so you're a consultant, so you're still trading time, but there are things that you can even do within there that can be automated that does not require the physicality of you. So it works in any situation. That's why I love this product. I want to get this information out here, y'all. I want Black women to be free because it is possible. This process that was a download has been healing my life. It's been changing my clients' lives. Watch the testimonials. I don't often want to talk about testimonials because it's like you have to show a testimony to prove something works, but I know the magic of this work. It's changed my life. The clients that I work with, it is beautifully powerful, and I would love to facilitate you in being able to craft a life that truly works for you, doing the things that you love, because this is my structure. Yours can show up completely different. That's what I love about this. Like, for example, with Trina, she wanted to create a wellness center and she started from zero. She had no idea how this was going to come about. And so now she has this whole generative physical business that is so beautiful. So beautiful, y'all. The energy of her space is just, oh my gosh. Oh, that's what I'm saying. The power of doing what you love, it changes the world. It is so important for you to bring your unique gifts. And so this process always shows up differently for every single person because we are all different. But I say to you, allow yourself to be nurtured to receive this, to walk on the planet and know that you can be free. Like, you can truly be free, y'all. I never thought there was a way to get paid for being in nature. What about you? What are the things that you deeply love that you were like, hey, I would love to get paid for this? And there's some things that will show up that will blow your mind. You're like, God, look at God. Look at God. Look at God. Ooh. All right, y'all. I am just going to put a pin in it here. I've said a lot. And mm, we'll let the energies contribute to you. Let them facilitate you in really being aware of the power of this tool. I said a lot. Thank you so much for watching this video. Sis, you deserve to rest.